Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997 back this time with what will start a series of reviews. This is the first figure from wave 3.5. For some reason they called a wave with 12 new figures a half a wave. Either way, this is an amazing series of G.I. Joe figures, and we're starting off with my personal most wanted for a long time now, the Data Viper. Oh, thank you God this saw the light of day. We saw this guy at a con a while back. Hasbro says, well, retailers have no interest in him. They cancel him. Fans have been begging for him, put him in the subscription service, do something, But we finally got him, and he looks beautiful. Another huge thing for Wave 3.5, they are finally giving us bases. You can kind of see it crammed in back there. So, Wave 3.5 is already my favorite line of Retaliation. But on the back of the packaging here, you can see the drone he comes with, how all of his gear breaks down and fits onto him, and a very nice picture of him with all his gear stripped off. And his little read-up says, Data Vipers are technology experts who use advanced tech gear to attack, sabotage, and spy on the G.I. Joe team. Using an attack drone, a Data Viper prepares to strike a G.I. Joe squad, but the G.I. Joe team spots the drone and opens fire. So very nice over here. You got a couple of the other characters in the line. Quinn, Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes, Cobra Combat Ninja. A lot of great figures. But that being said, I've waited far too long for this guy. Let's open him up. So I'm just going to say it. Not since the Zombie Viper has a G.I. Joe toy so completely blown me away. I absolutely love this figure. The only downside to it so far is the fact that this wave is going to be next to impossible to find in stores, and I really want to army build him. You are seeing all his gear completely stored on him. And this is just not even the beginning of what he can do. Now, before we go on to the amazing figure, first off, let me start by saying, well, he's very, very top-heavy, I thought, but he stands just fine without a base. I am glad they gave us a base. Thank you, Hasbro. You listen to fans. However, you did it in the most asshole-ish way possible. Don't get me wrong, I love you guys, and I'm sure the fans out there are thrilled you gave them a base. You gave us the one base that got used one time from G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra that we all hated. This crappy little dog tag base that came with the, Still in the Army Duke figure. That's what it's supposed to look like, a standard military dog tag. Wouldn't be so bad as that it just has one foot peg, so your figures don't stand all that great on it. Now, again, it's not looking a gift horse in the mouth. At the end of the day, any base is better than no base. This is the 25th anniversary base. Only had one foot peg. Eventually, they went to double foot pegs. Well, or did they take away a foot peg? You can kind of see right there where it's supposed to have one. And, of course, this is the standard Rise of Cobra movie base with 2 foot pegs. Either way, I'm still glad they got one. So, moving on to the Data Viper. Now, let's actually get a look at all the detail on this guy, because there is quite a bit. Now, I'm going to level you guys. I don't know what a lot of this stuff is on him. I'm sure a lot more of you out there do. But, I mean, I love that. Little shoulder-mounted things. There's almost like little hubs. Little red dots to indicate lights. Really liking how much his... I mean, you can strip this gear off, and it looks like a totally different figure. His little hacking tools, I'm assuming those are in his hands there. A lot of nice articulation on them. Now, on the back here, he has his... Nope, that one pops off. He has this little dish and this thing. I don't have the slightest idea what this thing is, but it makes a great back prop. Now, it can rotate up like this. I don't know, is that supposed to be an antenna or what? And also his little radar dish, satellite dish, also rotates up. Now, pulling both of those pieces off, his drone, which connects nicely to his back. The drone is just another beautiful piece of this toy. It got reused with Ultimate Flint or Duke. I don't know, I haven't reviewed either one of them yet, but now I believe it's Duke. Flint comes with a parachute. But it's got this nice little gear system in here where the wings fold out. Those are actually the Data Viper shotguns, which function as the guns of the little drone, which I think is a great multi-use for them. I love that. Love the paint on it. Green and red and the nice Cobra logo there. this is a perfect accessory. I love the fact that it's incorporated into the figure. You can take it off. You get these, they're a little hard to get off once you pop them on, but the shotguns, the fact they've got green paint to blend in with the drone just makes it look like a more futuristic little shotgun for them. Those might be a real gun for all I know. People always yell at me because I don't know every gun name on my G.I. Joe reviews, but, and I mean, even on its own, it looks great. So, closing that up. Once again, very nice detail. Now, after that, you pop the helmet off, which is very nice. Kind of a bizarre looking helmet, but I really like it for that reason. Let's get the light out of here. It's a little bright. But it's kind of the same bluish gray the rest of the figure is. It's got a little bit of red, some black and silver. You know, a lot of nice detail. His armor slips up over him. It's got D32 on it. Both of these little things actually are on a ball joint. They go up, down, sideways. Very nice. Now, the last piece of his armor remaining on him, which are his little, I'm calling these hacking tools, you know, who knows what they're really supposed to be. But they are on him very tightly. Of course, you can pull them off like that. Little tip comes off. Those slide off. And his little joystick is actually articulated, which I love. You know, those aren't a little crappy attached on accessory. Those are going to stay very well, as you can see there. And popping this one off. They do kind of fall apart in the process of taking them off, but it's not all that hard to get them on and off. You can see even the handle pops off and you can pop it right back on. So, all his gear aside, which he does have a pile of it, where are your shotguns at? Put one in his hand. And pose him real quick. Now let's get a look at the fully geared down Data Viper. Now, he's got just as nice a helmet as he does underneath the standard one. I really love this jumpsuit. I mean, it very much looks like something I can imagine, you know, Cobra issuing to someone. It's got the little Cobra logo, the pouches, the little yellow knobs. I originally thought that the cords would be able to attach from the gauntlet to those things. Maybe like his suit was, you know, transporting data or something, but no, unfortunately not. And that's not really a too big of a deal for me. So a beautiful looking figure. Now let's go on to his articulation. His head goes up and down just fine. A full 360. Arm spin and go out. Light's a little bright. I keep having to adjust it. Arms, of course, go out. Do a full 360. Bend and spin at the elbow. Spin at the wrist, and I believe, yep, hinged wrist. Gotta love that. Very nice ab crunch. Of course, ab does a full, well, the ab crunch also does a full 360. Ab crunch does a full 360. I'm sorry, guys, I can't talk today. His joint also goes left and right. Legs, of course, back, well, forward and back. Don't go back too far, but that's kind of standard for a G.I. Joe. Go out, double jointed at the knee. Have an ankle joint, which I believe, no pivot, but still, that's the one big piece of articulation we're losing on this guy. Now, I'm not going to gear this guy completely back up because that would take forever. And the fact of the matter is, one of the many things I love about this guy is that he looks just as good with all his gear off as he does on. So I forget exactly how many years we've waited for this guy. The year we saw him and Quinn, and you know, then we're like, oh yeah, they're canceling both, broke our hearts. I love this figure. He was easily worth the wait. He's the second best army builder we've seen in years next to the Zombie Viper. I mean, well, he's right up there with the Zombie Viper. I'm not going to pick a favorite. I don't know who I like more. This is an amazing toy, and it's a real shame because a lot of retailers are kind of giving up hope in the Retaliation line because the real Wave 4, quote-unquote, with only 4 new figures is making a lot of retailers drop it. I really want to army build this guy, and I really think that's going to be tough. I got mine online. I haven't seen Wave 3.5 pop up in stores yet, There's been reports of it hitting some Toys R Us's, so keep your eyes peeled. But if you're a G.I. Joe fan, definitely grab this guy when you see him. Grab multiples if you can. And this is JTrain997 saying I'll see you soon, YouTube.